Hey, it's James here from GoodGuitarist.com, and today I'm going to show you how to play the intro to Hotel California like this. And in the last lesson, I taught the chords and strumming for Hotel California. So if you haven't checked that out, I recommend doing that first because we're going to be using the exact same chords in the exact same order as the verse from that other lesson, you know, like A minor, E, G, E, and so on. So I want you to be comfortable changing the chords because we're going to be focusing mainly on the picking here. Now, before we get started, if you haven't grabbed your copy of my free ebook, I'll put a link to that in the corner and down below. It's completely free for all my subscribers. As far as subscribing to the channel goes, if you have already done so, I sincerely appreciate it. If you have not yet, now's your chance. Hit the subscribe button, like the video, hit the bell icon. That way you'll be notified of all future lessons. Jumping in, our first chord shape is A minor, and we're going to pick the A string all the way up to the B string. So 4 strings in a row. All downstrokes. And now from here, we're going to pluck the G string and then the E string. So we start on the A string, we'll go 4 in a row, and then we go back, and then we go up to the highest string. So just try that. Just memorize the order there. Don't worry about the timing yet. We're going to discuss that in depth. Just do that a few times. Get used to it. Then we can figure out how this all lines up in terms of rhythm. The rhythm is 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. That's just 8th note counting. And you can see above, I have the counting, and then I'm going to put the notes that we're picking, line it up with the counting. Our first note, the A string, that's on beat 1. That's simple enough. And then these next 2 notes happen on 2 and then on beat 3, we're just gonna get ready. And on the and after 3, we pluck the B string. And I want you to start with that, just going 1 and 2 and 3 and. And I know when you do it horribly slow like this, it doesn't sound like anything, you know? But you want to make sure that you can do it slowly and precisely before you speed it up. You know, sometimes you can just feel the rhythm. You're welcome to do that. You know, if you can just feel 2, 3, 4. That's fine. But you know, if you need help with it, you just look at the counting like I've shown you. We have our first 4 notes so far. 1 and 2 and 3 and. And then on the and after 4, we pluck our G string. And then on beat 1, right after it, we hit the high E. So there's a bit of a jump. We're doing a string skip right there. We're going 3 and 4 and 1. You know, so we're hitting this on the and after 4, and then we're jumping straight to the high E. And I recommend going 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 at your own pace. You know, it's going and 1. You could go super slow, like 3 and 4 and 1. 3 and 4 and 1. You know, and that's the toughest technical element of this whole thing. Once you've practiced that a bit, we can put the whole thing together going 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. Again, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2, 3 and 4. And once you're good with that on the A minor chord, we just need to make a couple adjustments for all the rest of the chord shapes. Something I should mention that I notice happens with students, when you're holding down the same chord shape for a really long time and you're practicing your picking, your fingertips might hurt from like the string really pressing into it. So you can always just mute the strings and just go. You know, once you're confident that you're picking the right notes, you can just mute the strings. That way you give your chord hand a break. Anyways, moving on to the E chord. It's pretty much the same thing, except our first note is on the low E string. And then we skip over to the D string. You know, the rest of it's identical. It's just that very first note is different. It's going to be the thickest string. And of course, we're holding down a different chord shape. Otherwise, it's the same thing. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and... For G, same thing as the E chord. You know, we're starting on the thickest string. And for D, we're going to start on the D string, and then the rest of it's the same. So we actually play the D string 2 times. See what I mean? So we go, and then we finish our pattern. So only the very first note is changing as I'm changing chord shapes. From the D chord, we go to F, and here it's going to be a little bit different. We're going to start on the A string, and then we're going to do our pattern all like 1 string lower. A way that I like to think about it is it's just like what we did for the D chord. You know, we pluck that first note twice, except we're moving all 4 of these notes down to here. So A, D, G, D, B. You know, so we're moving the whole thing 1 string set lower. And then for the C chord, back to our regularly scheduled program. You know, we're doing it just like A minor, you know, just like before. And then for D minor, it's just like D major. And E, we've already done. For most of these, it's straightforward. You might have to work on the D chords, D and D minor, as well as F. You know, those are, you can just rewind this lesson and just watch me do it over and over again, going through that part. Get it on every single chord shape. Make sure you're comfortable with each chord shape individually, and then we start gluing it together. And I would start out just doing A down to E. And you can just do that back and forth a few times. And then I would go from G to D. And do that back and forth a bunch of times. You know, so I'm just kind of doing them in pairs now to help me build up that muscle memory before I try the entire thing. From there, we could go from F into C. 1, 2, 3, 4. And then from D minor into E. And when it comes to learning something like this, where you have to change it up a little bit as you go along, you know, it's not just a consistent like chords, strumming pattern kind of thing. We're breaking it down like we just did into like pairs and stuff. That's what's going to make the difference. So I do urge you to take the time to do that. I know it can be tedious sometimes, but that's what's going to turn you into a good guitarist. Either way, once you've done all that work, we can try to put that whole thing together. I'm going to get out my metronome. 1, 2, 3, 4. And that's all there is to it. Unfortunately, I cannot distribute a specific tab for this. You know, you're just gonna have to go through this video and just read the tabs that are built into the video, because the Eagles are like really on top of their copyright stuff, and you know, I don't want to violate any of that because it comes with like really big fines. And anyways, don't forget to grab your copy of my free ebook or check out my courses. I have a ton of courses on my website about finger picking, chords and strumming, learning to strum and sing at the same time, all that stuff. And it's really going to help you out if you are interested in continuing your guitar journey with me helping guide you. Otherwise, don't forget to like, subscribe. That really helps out here on YouTube. Please let me know if you have any questions in the comments down below, and have a fun time practicing. I'll see you soon.